Hello everyone, Courtney here from How to Loom Your Dragon. Welcome to part 4 of the Poodle tutorial. In this portion we will be working on the legs and attaching the leg poofs and the feet. Yay! So you should set up your loom like this. You have your 3 looms, okay? So try to match the pattern I have here. And also where I put the base plates, because when we do, at a certain point we're going to have to switch this row to this side later. Okay, so have your base plates set up so that you can fit an extra row onto the base on this side, okay? So you can kind of copy what I did here. I used 3 large base pieces and I used 7 small ones, but you can actually copy what I did up here and then just use 1 less small one at the bottom here. I put 3, but you really only need 2 anyway, so just do that. Okay, so yeah, so let me make sure you can see this. So it looks like this. Okay, this will make it easier so we don't have to do multi-steps when doing the length of the legs, okay? So now we're going to begin. So you're going to take your body color, now that we're done with the poof color, unless it's the same color, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 2 at a time, and I'm going to start up here in the corner, and I'm going to go down 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go diagonally. Now I'm going to go down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, 9, 10, 11. Alright, and now I'm going to go down this column. And now this one. I'm going to stop 1 short of the other column. Okay, so I'm doing 1 less down this column than in this one. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Okay, and now I'm going to go down this one. Okay, and here, I'm just going to angle the bands like this. Now, if for some reason you're making a dog other than a poodle and you didn't make the feet poofs, you're going to want to make it thicker down here because it's going to be very flimsy. Okay, but because we have the leg poofs, we're going to cover this area up anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's flimsy or not. Okay, so if you're making a different kind of dog and using this tutorial, I suggest you make the bottom part thicker. Okay, I'm putting 2 bands at a time around all 4 pegs. This is double looped single bands. Okay, so double looped. Okay, we're gonna take one of our feet, okay? You have the set here that is being tied off, okay? So I'm gonna go through those loops, okay? There's 6 loops there. Don't take the tying band off, leave it on. All right, so I'm going through the loops and I am gonna wrap that right around this peg, the higher of the 2, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna count down 2 sets. So, well, first we can actually loop this up. Let's loop that up so it stays on. Okay, I'm going to count down 2 sets from this one. So 1, 2. So this set here, I'm going to go through this side, okay? Don't go through this side. Go through this side of the loops, okay? Each set has 2 sides, so you're going to go through this side. And what we're going to do is with our hook through that side, we're going to turn the paw and wrap that right around this peg down here. And once I've done that, I'm going to loop up. Whoops. Okay. Alright, and now I'm just going to continue looping. Go back in here, loop this one. Okay, and now I'm going to go up again here, grab the top bands, diagonals, loop up all the way up this column. And then up this one. And as usual, we are going to tie off the ends with any color. Okay, I'm just going to use white here. Okay, and now we can lift up this. By the way, if you do not have fiber fill, you're going to need it for this next part, okay? Or something to stuff the legs and the stomach with. You're going to want something for that, okay? Alright, we're going to do part 2 of the leg. This is only half of it. We're going to make it 3D. So here is part 2. We're taking 2 bands at a time. I suppose you could also use like cotton balls or something, just whatever you want. Now this one we're making 1 length longer, this leg. Actually, let's keep going down here like we did with the other one. Okay, so I went down 11 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 4 times here, diagonal. Okay. Continuing. This leg is almost, or this side of the leg is pretty much identical to the other side. It's just 1 length longer at the top. Okay, we'll go diagonally this way. Okay, let's do our horizontals. So 2 at a time, stretching all the way across. Double looped here and double looped here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the leg I was just doing before, and now we're going to go through the other 2 bands of the loop on the other side, okay? Okay, so grab the other side of that loop, okay? The 2 bands. Oops. And we are going to wrap it around here. Again, if you're doing a different dog, you might want to make the bottom thicker than the top. That's up to you. We're going to loop up 1 time, okay, and we're going to push it down. Now we're going to go through the same loops that are around, or that this tying band is going through. The same ones we went through before, and we're going to wrap them like this, okay? Don't go upside down like that. We're going to wrap them like this. Okay, so the paw is kind of angled up. Once you've wrapped them, you can loop up 1 time. Alright, so once I've done that, I'm going to stitch the edges. Okay, so this is the next set in line here, so if you pull your leg a little bit, you can see it right here. Go through the loops, open them up, and wrap them around this peg. Loop up. Okay, let's do the other side. So here we want to wrap the next set around, so if you pull the leg up, you'll see it right here. This right here. We're going to wrap that right around that peg, and then you're going to loop up. Okay, let's go through the next set in line, which is this one. Loop up. Let me make sure that's the right one. Yeah. Don't skip any sets, okay? It's very important to make sure you're doing the next one, the next set in line. Otherwise it's going to look messed up. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to continue that. So I'm going to put another one here. Okay, the next one on this side is going to go to that one. Make sure you go open up all 4 of the loops each time. Go behind the horizontal band, loop the angled one, and then you can loop this one. Alright, I'm going to go almost all the way up this one, okay, because this is a row, a column in the middle that we're not attaching the edges to, so it's fine that we can loop up to the second to last peg. Okay, so I'm going to loop up to here. Alright, now I can continue looping the loops around, so I try not to go through the horizontal bands in there. You can see it right here. I'm just going to go through the vertical loops in each set. I'm not going to go through the horizontals. Okay, wrap around, loop up. Same thing on this side. Wrap around, loop up. In order. Wrap around, loop up. Wrap around, loop up. Now as it starts to get tighter here, as you're wrapping it, then we can begin to lift up the bottom. Because these bands are all looped, so we can lift it up a little bit to loosen the tension on the bands. Okay, but you don't want to lift it up too much, okay? So about to there. Go through the next set of bands, wrap them, loop up. We're going to be doing this for all 4 of the legs. Ha ha. Not too many around that one. Okay, we can lift up a little bit more. See how the leg is now three-dimensional? Yay! Okay, this column I can loop up to the same row that I looped the other one up to, so here, okay? And we can loop the diagonal. Okay, let's do the next one. Here and this one. Don't do the last set yet, because we're going to stuff the leg first. You don't want to close it up until after we've stuffed it. So, you're going to lift up the leg to about there. And now you're going to grab that fiber fill, or polyfill, whatever you're using, and grab just a little bit of it. If you were making a white poodle, it's easier because, you know, you won't be able to tell as much if it's popping out of the bands, the fiber fill, but if you're not doing a white poodle, it's a little trickier because you don't want the white to really show through too much, so just kind of want to stick a little bit in at a time. And kind of like sort of jab it in, but you don't want to like... No, that's not a good idea. Don't use your hook. You'll mess up the bands. Okay. Don't worry if there's not that much down here because we're putting the poof there, so you won't be able to tell. Alright, so once you've stuffed it, then you can wrap the last ones around. Hopefully you're not missing any, and hopefully you didn't miss any and you're on the last set. Okay. Okay. I'm going to tie my ends here. You should technically use a different color than you used here. That way you can easily see which bands are safe to remove. Oops. Okay, so once I've pulled it off, I can take off this tying band here, as well as the 3 that are at the bottom here. There's 3 tying the top edges. You want to take off the 3 around the bottom sets. Or there are 4. There's 4. Sorry, not 3. There's 4. Okay. Now, the leg is probably going to be a little crooked like mine. I'm going to take one of the leg poofs. Okay, one of the first things we made. And what we're going to do is we are you're first going to make sure all the loose bands here are pulled outward. You're going to wrap it right around at the bottom of the leg, and then you're going to take your hook and you're going to go through, let's see, the bands, the set on this end, and you're going to pull the loose bands from the other end through, and you're going to stitch it so that now you're going to push this band down, go through the next set, pull the next band through, pull that also through that other band on the hook, go through the next set. This is I often use this for stomach attachment in my creatures. This technique, I use it for many things in this tutorial. Anybody who uses this technique probably got it from me, unless they're a genius and figured it out on their own somehow. Okay, and then these two at the end I'm also going to pull through. Okay, just like that. You can kind of squish it together. So you have these two loose ends here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift up the poof slightly, go through some bands in the leg, pull them through those bands and C-clip it. And then you're going to just push the poof back down over that C-clip. Okay, so there's one leg complete, okay? Notice how if you hold it like this, front ways, one side is curvy and the other side is flat. Okay, like see how this side is kind of curved, this side is flat. Okay, just keep that in mind for later. Yay! Okay, so you can hook that leg aside. We're going to do the other front leg together. Okay, so we're going to take two bands at a time again. We're going to put them here, not on this one, on the second one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go diagonally. Go down 11 times again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This one is one less. Okay, just like that. Let's do two bands, do horizontals, 2 at a time. Okay, now we're going to take another paw. Doesn't matter which one, they're all the same. go through the 6 loops. Okay, oops. Wrap them around this peg. Loop up. Okay, then we're going to go count down 2 sets from here. So 1, 2. So this set here, we're going through the top of the 2 bands. Okay, the top. Or, yeah, the top of the 4 loops, you know what I mean. Wrap it around and loop up. Okay, take your 4 tying bands to tie off these ends. Okay, then we're going to do the other side of that leg. So again, 2 bands at a time. We're just making it 1 length longer like we did with the other leg. Three, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's go down the other one. Again, it's 1 less than the previous one. Okay. Take 2 bands at a time, stretching across. This is symmetry, by the way. This leg is symmetrical to the other leg, in case you were ever confused as to what that meant when I said to make things symmetrical. Okay, so again, going through, let's go through the 6 bands here at the end, wrap them around this peg, loop up once. We're going to go through the other side of the set here. Okay, so the other bands, wrap that around here, and loop up. Okay, might come off, that's fine. Okay, so again, we're going to go through the next set in line on this edge, or it's actually the first set, looks like. Okay, up. Okay, how about this side? Let's go through the first set of loops here. Again, I'm trying not to grab the horizontal bands. Okay, again, I can loop up the majority of this column. Loop up to here. Okay. Alright, let's go to the side, attach the next set. Loop up. Wrap around here, loop up. And again, when the bands start to get a little bit tight, lift up from the bottom. Okay, once you get to this one, obviously again you can loop up to that set. Okay. should pretty much have the hang of this by now. And if you end up using this technique for any other projects that you make and you share it, I just ask that you give me credit for the technique on how to do this. If there's anybody else there that does it this way or did it before me, I had no idea, I kind of figured it out on my own. But if you learned it from me, give me a shout out when you post it. That would be nice. Alright, so I'm at this point again. Before we attach the top row, I'm just going to lift it up a little bit more and grab my fiber fill, and again I'm going to stuff the leg up. Not too much though, you really don't want to see it poking through the leg like that. Not too much. Alright, and then we're going to connect the last set onto each of these 4 pegs. Okay, and like we did before, we're going to take off this white band here and the 4 lower bands on the leg. Okay. Okay, you're going to grab another leg poof. You're going to wrap it around the leg. Make sure all the loose ends are out. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. Okay, so going through the bands on this side, we are pulling the loop through onto our hook, go through the next set, pull the next set through, onto the hook, pull the next set through, oops, to the hook, next band, and the final, oh wait, what did I do? Oops, what did I do? What did I do? I messed up. It appears I messed up here. Doopy-doopy-doo. I'm not being careful enough, and therefore I am messing up. Oh, that's why I'm missing a band. There it is. Come out, band. There you are. That's why. Alright, so you pull those 2 tying bands are the last ones we're going to pull through. Okay, like we did before. Lift up the poof, pull the leg down, go through a bunch of bands in the leg. Pull those 2 bands through. C-clip it. And then pull the poof back down and hide the C-clip underneath the poof. Yay, leg number 2. Okay, our other front leg is done. So they should be opposite, okay? They should be curved on the insides, okay? Like that, okay? Okay, front legs are done. Oh, he looks so cute. I love him so much. Okay, so now we're going to do the back legs. Alright, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to move this to this side. 1, 2, 3. And, you know, I realized that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I have to move. Oh, okay. What we can do is we can just lift up the bottom loom and just move it over to here. Okay. And then we want to secure this. So, sorry, I thought I put this together right, but so I'm just gonna move this over. Okay, so just do that, and then maybe you can take off one of the looms at one of the base plates at the bottom and to just secure this one like this. Okay, and we will be changing this around eventually. Okay, so just have it so this is completely on one side. Okay, see that? You see, you see. Okay, good. Alright, time for the back legs. So we're gonna go 2 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2 at a time. Okay, so I went down 7 times there. There's 3 angled sets here, and then 5 here. Okay. Oops, wait, no, that one, sorry, that one doesn't go there. Okay, now we're going to take one and we're going to go, or take 2, sorry, diagonally there, here, 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 and then here. Okay, so see that? That's how I did that one. And now we're going to take 2 bands at a time. our horizontals. Notice these, I only went across 3. I didn't go across all 4. I went across 3. Okay. Alright, I'm going to double loop here and here. Again, if you're doing a dog other than a poodle, I recommend making the bottom thicker. Okay, so now I'm going to take another leg. So those were double looped here, okay? The only bands that were double looped are these 2 and then the 2 down here. Okay, so grab another foot. What did I say, leg? I meant foot. Okay, grab another foot. Go through the 6 bands, or 6 loops. Wrap the loops around this peg, count down, or let's loop up, count down 2 to this one, so 1, 2, the top set, so the set on this side, wrap around this peg, and we're just going to loop up. Loop up all the way. Go in here. Grab the top 2 in here. Just make sure you don't miss any sets, or you're going to be really sad. Okay, now let's finish with this side. Top one's here. Okay. Tie off for the 5 ends. Yeah, okay. Carefully take it off. Don't rip it off. Just go nice and slow. Okay. We have half of one back leg. Now let's do the other half. Okay. So the other half we're going to make 2 lengths longer. Okay, this will enable the dog to be able to sit. Okay, if we have a flat area at the top of the legs can bend and the dog can sit. Yay. So just follow me. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Okay, let's do our horizontals again. Okay, double looped. Double looped. Okay. So again, the only double looped bands are this one, and these two down here. Okay. Grab your half completed leg, stick your hook through this set of 6 loops down there. Put that right side up right here. Okay. Loop up 1 time. Okay. Now we're going to go through the bottom set. Okay, so the other half of the set here, same thing we've been doing. It's going to wrap around this peg, and we're going to loop up once. Okay. Yay. Okay, let's go through. Let's connect the sides again. So, the same concept that we just did before. Okay, so go through the first set of loops, wrap around, loop up. Okay, same thing here. So the loops here. Loop up. Okay, this one I can loop, this middle column we can loop up to here. Okay. Let's attach the next one to here. Doesn't really matter what order you do this in, I just like to do each side at a time. Okay, grab the top bands in here for the verticals. We're going to go almost to the top, but we're going to go 2 sets down from the top instead of 1 set. So I'm going to stop here. Okay. And we can loop this one. Now, part of the way up, we're going to want to start stuffing it, but not quite yet. It's easier to stuff it at 2 different points during stitching, but okay, same thing here. We're going to go up 2 sets from the top. So to here. Okay, loop the diagonal. Let's go this one. Loop here, and then we want to loop up this one. Don't forget this one, very important. Okay, we'll do the next set. Up. Okay. Let's do this side. Do the verticals first, and then the diagonal. Again, bringing it up 2 sets below the top to here. Doing the diagonal. Lift it up a little bit more, but not too much. Okay, lift up once more. Which one? Okay, I'm going to start stuffing right now, just that it's not as difficult later when we get to the top. So I'm just going to stick some in here. Okay, don't overstuff it. And then just continue stitching the sides. stuff to that part. Grr. Okay, so we looped up to here. We didn't attach these sides yet. Lift it up a tiny bit. Okay, and now we're going to stuff it a little bit more at the top here. Okay, and once that's stuffed, then we can attach the rest of the loops and loop up the final 2 sets in each column. Okay, and then I'm going to tie off these 5 ends. Whoops. Hee, little chunky back leg. And a little too chunky. I have to pull out some of the stuffing if you see the stuffing through the flat side, you want to pull it out because that's going to be the side that's showing. So you might want to decrease your stuffing there if there's too much poking out. Alright, so then as usual we're going to take off the band here and the 5 lower bands down here. And grab another poof. Wrap it around. Okay, and same thing. So let's just pull the bands through. Yay. Stitch them. Stitch the bands. Okay, and I'm going to lift up the poof, go into the leg somewhere, bunch of bands, pull it through, C-clip it, push the poof back down, and there we go. So there's one of your back legs. Yay! One left. We're getting there, peeps. Alright, so now we have to switch our loom. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to take off this piece. I'm going to lift up this loom and move it over to here. Okay, just like that. This goes here. Alright, simple, simple. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. So again, 2 bands at a time. Whoops. Down 5 times. Diagonally 3 times. And down 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, horizontal time. Double loop. Remember, double loop here. Okay, grab your other little paw, your final paw. Go through the 6 loops. Attach that onto this peg. Loop up. And then count down 2 from here. So 1, 2. Grab the top of this side, okay, the bands wrapped around here. tie off the ends. Doo -doo -doo -doo. Ooh. All right, one more. Okay, one more side to the leg, final leg. All right, so now we're gonna go down 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Now down 7 times again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Oops. Okay, to here. Okay, now we just have to do our horizontals. Okay. Double looped, double looped. 2 at a time. Double looped here, double looped here. Oops. Alright, hey, grab your leg, go to the set of 6 loops that it's being tied off here, attach it onto this peg so the foot is right side up, and loop up a set. Now we want to grab the other side of that loop, or of those loops, okay? And we want to wrap that around this peg here. Okay, loop up once. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the first set and attach it around. Imagine doing this on the big poodle, which is 5 times the size. Yeah. Ho ho ho. Okay. Okay, going up to here. Loop up this one. Okay, lift part of the way. Okay. Alright, so this column we can loop all the way up until 2 sets from the top. Okay, same thing here. to there. Go in here, loop the diagonals. Alright, we're getting there, peeps. Just done with the legs. Oh, we want to start stuffing this soon. I'm waiting too long. Ooh. Get that one. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start stuffing him a little bit. Try to push a little bit down to the bottom. Okay, here's some at the last part here. So if you want to try stuffing it a tiny bit more, you can, and then we're going to close it up. So wrap the loops around the pegs. Tie off your ends. Oops. Yay. Alright, I'm going to put my loom aside because I don't need it till the next portion of the tutorial. Take off all the lower tying bands, not the 5 at the top. Okay, now grab your final poof. Okay, pull out all those loose ends. Whoops. Alright. Yay! So good job, you have finished this portion of the tutorial. So far this is what you should have. Your head, okay. Your front legs, make sure this is in the camera. Front legs. Your back legs. Your large poof that we're going to put on at the very end. Your two small poofs for the back. Your tail poof. And your collar and bows. Yay! Alright, so check out the next portion of the tutorial and we will be working on the main body and attaching the arms and legs. Yay! See you over there. Good job if you've come this far.